Alright, what's going on, guys? Trevor back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another MMA related video talking about UFC 151. Believe it or not, only 10 days approximately until UFC 151 was supposed to go down. Headlined by, of course, Jon Jones versus Dan Henderson for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. And Dan Henderson got injured, tore his MCL apparently in his knee, is screwed, can't fight. Now, how long ago that was, we don't really know. It seems like he was just nearing the end of his training, and it happened because they just released the news basically today. That being said, you know, is he going to be able to still fight for the title eventually, like in a few months or something? I guess we'll find out. But the most surprising thing about it is not that Dan Henderson got injured. So that's just the start of it. Dan Henderson gets injured, he's out, right? But there's lots of guys at light heavyweight that could probably step in and fight Jon Jones. You have Lyoto Machida, who just knocked out Ryan Bader and is supposed to get the next shot, who I'm sure could probably say, oh yeah, you need me to step in 10 days? Okay, fine. Just pay me a little extra like he did last time, and away we go. I will be there and fight for the championship again. Aside from him, I mean, there's lots of other guys too. I'm sure Shogun could probably do it. I don't think he's injured after his fight with Vera unless he's on a suspension. It's possible him and Machida actually, now that I think about it, could be on suspension. So they might not be allowed. I'm sure they could, but I'm not sure if they're on suspensions or not. But either way, there are lots of other guys too that could step in. One guy in particular who basically was asked and accepted is, believe it or not, Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen literally, it sounds like volunteered to fight Jones. And here's the strangest thing of the whole situation. Chael Sonnen accepted the fight. Jon Jones turned it down. Refuses to fight Chael Sonnen on short notice. Apparently, you know, as you know, part of that has to do with Greg Jackson's camp and his influence and his decision. But nevertheless, I am just puzzled by the decision. I'm absolutely puzzled. I cannot understand why Jon Jones would do this. It sounds like career suicide to me. First of all, you're in an industry that has been monopolized, okay? Let's accept that. UFC, mixed martial arts, the UFC has a monopoly on mixed martial arts. It's that simple. If a fighter tries to go elsewhere and go outside of Zuffa, they're either going to have to do it all on their own and create their own promotion, or they're going to have to fight for like Titan or, you know, one of these other smaller companies that don't have any money. And the last time one of those companies tried to take a gamble and pay a fighter a lot of money, Strikeforce or Affliction, they went out of business quickly afterwards. Just because a lot of times things don't work out. Guys get hurt, guys get popped for steroids, Josh Barnett. And you know, all kinds of things can happen. So, you know, he's working in a monopoly. His field is a monopoly, and he has a lot of responsibility, you know, as a champion and as a huge draw, one of the biggest draws in the UFC. Because who are the big draws? You have probably Junior Dos Santos is at the top of there. You have, obviously, George St. Pierre when he gets healed, and he's back, but he's been out for like a year. Anderson Silva, obviously, a humongous draw. And Jon Jones. Aside from that, you know, the lighter weight classes, they just don't draw the numbers that the bigger guys do. So, regardless, the UFC is going to lose millions, for sure, off of this decision from Jon Jones. And also, Chael Sonnen was talking shit to Jones before, so people would want to see that fight. I mean, me personally, let me just put it out there. Yes, I think Jones would roll Chael and he would stomp him. But at the same time, I'd rather have that than nothing. Wouldn't you? You know, wouldn't you rather have an MMA event with Jon Jones fighting Chael Sonnen than nothing? You know, than no event? Because who knows how long it's going to take Dan Henderson to get back in shape and be ready to face Jones again. You know, George St. Pierre tore his ACL, was out for a year. I don't know what an MCL tear, you know, compared to an ACL tear is and how much longer it would take to heal and all that stuff. But I can imagine that Dan Henderson probably won't be ready to fight in 2012. So that pushes him into next year. Lyoto Machida is the next opponent. And, yeah, you know, they could put a match together with him and Jon Jones before the end of the year probably. But it's really bad for the UFC. I mean, they're going to lose a lot of money just because Jon Jones refuses to take a fight against a guy from a lighter weight class that he should easily stomp. This is insane. Jon Jones is just making the types of decisions that I was going to do a video talking about just this in particular, and that is that I believe Jon Jones could go down as one of the most hated mixed martial artists of all time, and I really think he probably will. I mean, based on his actions and what he's been doing the past year, his how he feels about himself, his cockiness, so to speak, his attitude towards other fighters, his disrespect towards other people, dumping Rampage at the end of the bell afterwards, saying, "Oh, it's just one of those things, you're in the middle of a takedown and you finish it." No, it was pretty late that he dumped Rampage. Rampage had already stopped, and then Jon Jones dumped him in the middle of a takedown at the end of a round. I'm referring to, if you guys remember. I mean, there's a lot of other things he's done too, but definitely this is not going to help him become more popular. Also, too, he said about the Machida fight that he basically doesn't want to fight Machida either, because it's his lowest draw of all of his draws that he's had so far, and so he'll make the least money out of it, and this kind of stuff. Like, he's just, man, he's terrible, dude. He really could go down as one of the most hated mixed martial artists of all time. But like Dana White said, that he's never had a fighter turn down, never had a champion like that turn down a fight like that. And yeah, you have guys like Shogun who say, "Oh, I don't want to fight Glover," Texera, which was just recent. But when you think about that too, it makes sense because he's a newcomer, and for Shogun, maybe it's not that big of a it doesn't make sense. Plus, for him, there's other opponents that he could choose instead. This is like a no-win situation for the UFC. They're going to lose millions, all because Jon Jones is a prima donna, doesn't want to fight Chael Sonnen. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I don't think he's honestly worried about Chael Sonnen as a threat. Maybe he just thinks it won't make any money or something, and most of his income comes from sponsorships. But if you're in that kind of field anyway as a mixed martial artist, you shouldn't really be worried about money that much. I mean, if you really want money, go become a boxer or go play another sport like football or something like that, because there's way more money in that than there is in MMA. Anyway, so those are my thoughts on UFC 151 being canceled. Can't believe it. I think it's crazy. And the most bizarre thing of it all, Jon Jones. Man, how can a guy that's so good, be worried about fighting a guy that probably shouldn't even be in there anyway? Geez, man. Let me know what you guys think about this. This is crazy. Anyway, thumbs up if you like the video, guys. Feel free to add to a favorite if you want. And that's it for this one. See you for the next one. Later, guys. Peace.